Hello, this is Dave Hurwitz, Executive Editor at ClassicsToday.com, here to talk to you about Dvořák's Slavonic Dances. Now, I know this was originally conceived as sort of household music for, piano four hands. They're based or inspired by Brahms's Hungarian dances, but the fact is that at every step, Dvořák surpassed his models by a wide margin, both in originality of melody and also size and scope. And in their orchestral versions, the Slavonic dances constitute really a major work. It would be wonderful to see all 16 of them played on one half of a program or divided between the first half and the second half, because the two sets, there are 8 dances in each set, and they're designated as Opus 46 and Opus 72, are exceptionally brilliant, sophisticated pieces, and the melodies are just incomparable. I mean, they're all original to Dvořák, and they're just extraordinary. You can't define. Musicology has never come up with a way to explain a melody. And Dvořák's, like Schubert's and some other composers, are just inexplicable. They are a gift from heaven, as their composers used to say. And the Slavonic dances contain an abundance of absolutely personal, distinctive, incomparable melody. I just love them, and I really think, as I said, that they really are serious pieces that should be played that way. Now, the recording situation, even though they've been done a billion times, the recording situation for complete sets is rather simple, as you'll see, because you've got versions with the Czech Philharmonic, which is about half of the ones we're going to talk about, and then everybody else, which is 4 or 5 others, and none of the rest make any difference. They're good ones. They're good ones, but it's like when you can have the real deal, why would you waste time with anything else, right? So let's talk about, first of all, the performance that I don't have with me right here. It's in one of those giant cube things over there, and that's Antal Dorati. Now, he recorded them twice, once with the Minnesota Orchestra, or the Minneapolis Symphony, as it may have been called then, for Mercury Living Presence, and second, as a digital recording for Decca with the Royal Philharmonic. The performance to get is the earlier one, which is livelier and fresher and sharper and just in every way, I think, preferable. Not that the second one is terrible, but when you compare them side by side, you're hit in the face by the energy and verve of his first recording for Mercury Living Presence. And of course, the Mercury Living Presence sonics really, really help because they're very natural, but at the same time, extremely vivid. And so if you want to get one of the Doratis, that's the one to get. And they are quite splendid. They're beautifully fresh and a joy from first to last. Then we have to deal with someone else who also did them twice, and that's George Szell. Now, Szell did them both with the Cleveland Orchestra, first in mono and then in stereo. And again, I have a slight preference, I think, for the mono versions, only because I even think the balances are a little bit better than the stereo version. After the first dance, I think they sort of equalize. But that first dance in the stereo version, I find it hard to get away from. Here is this is the Szell monos. This is one of these sort of pirate label. It's called United Archives. I don't know what that is. But here are the monos, and you can get them now in the big Szell box, which I assume most of you will have. And if you don't, and you can still get it and you can afford it, you should have it, because a big box of Szell is the sort of anchor of your classical music collection, because you get Beethoven and Brahms and the late Dvořák and sort of all the German standards done incomparably well. Anyway, Szell is one of the guys you got to hear that music too. He clearly loved it. And if you have to get the stereo Szells because they're easier to find, that's fine too. They're superb either way. One of the things that Szell does that no one else does, that I completely, totally agree with, is that in the second to last dance in the Opus 72 set. In the later set, it's a colo, a Serbian colo is the name of the type of dance it is. He treats the opening measures as an introduction and doesn't take the repeat back to the beginning. In other words, get ready, guys, here it comes. That dance goes like this. It goes, ya da 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 dum ba dum ba dum ba dum ba dum ba 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 ya da 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 dum ba dum ba 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 ya da 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 dum. Then most performances go right back to the start again. Szell doesn't. He starts at the dance proper. Da ba dum ba 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 ya da 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 dum. It didn't come out too badly, did it? But the point is that I think he's right. Now, I've looked at the scores and I see what Dvořák wrote, and there's just a repeat sign, and most people go all the way back to the beginning. But I think Szell is right to do it that way. This could be one of those repeat signs that's there because Dvořák knew that nobody would be dumb enough to go all the way back to the beginning, that you'd start where the dance starts. I don't know. I don't know where Szell got it from, but it sounds terribly right to me anyway. But that's the kind of either way, it's an indication of the kind of thought, I mean real serious thought, that Szell put into everything he did, and even these theoretically light pieces, which nowadays, they only get played as encores. Basically, you hear one or two of the more popular ones and none of the rest of them. They seem to exist mostly on recordings. And as I said, either set or both are each one of them lasts about half an hour, a little more, 35 minutes. So you have what is effectively a work of symphonic length with each of the two sets. So, damn it, play them that way. Give them a chance to be heard in all of their glory. And, Dvořák arranged them for contrast and variety so carefully. Why can't we hear them as the amazingly fabulous conception that they are, other than on records? Thank God for records. So staying with Cleveland, there's Dochnani. Dochnani's Cleveland set, as usual with Dochnani in Cleveland, was basically ignored when it came out. And I don't want to go on another rant about why Decca treated Dochnani in Cleveland so poorly. This is, for my money, probably a little better than Szell. Frankly, it's absolutely perfect, crisp, clean, gorgeous, shapely, warm, songful. It gets everything absolutely right, and the sonics are drop dead gorgeous. You can't go wrong. And with that, we're done with non-Czech performances, one way or another. One of the things that I always noticed is that when other people do them, and they do, some of them are very good. They really are. Nimi Järvi did a pretty good one on Chandos. Leif Segerstam, I think, did them for Biss or something like that. I don't know. There's lots of versions of them floating around out there. But then you hear the ones I'm mentioning, and they're just on a different level. They really are. Just song by song dance by dance by dance. If you check out and do A/B comparisons, you'll just find that these versions have that idiomatic touch. Now, what do I mean by the term idiomatic? We use the word all the time, and we assume that you know what it means and I know what it means, and we agree on what it means. We agree on what the idiom is. In these pieces, I think we can define it fairly specifically. It means, first of all, a certain rhythmic verve that carries even through the slow dances. That doesn't mean like vulgarly hitting home the first beat of every measure. It means floating the rhythms through the melodies in a way that keeps the music moving propulsively and keeps it buoyant. It means handling the wind instruments with a certain prominence and character that makes the music live, that makes the idea that it's dancing sort of inherent in the timbre. And that's a function, as usual with great orchestration, of woodwind coloration, which is why the Czech Philharmonic performances is so great. And third, it also means a certain sensitivity in the handling of the percussion, particularly in the first set, where because it's dance music, there's the tendency to just have the bass drum and cymbals pulverizingly going crash, 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 crash. when it's, for example, in the first song, it's da ba da da ba 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 ba, hey, da 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 ba ba da ba 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 ba, hey, some people do that, some people don't. It's nice when they do. I mean, the percussion aren't just there to mark the rhythm. They can increase the feeling of energy and color of the music if it's treated correctly and with thought and sensitivity. And so all of those are issues that contribute to an idiomatic performance, aside from the usual ideas of, just pacing and, good musicianship. So let's talk about a different one. And this is, now we're getting to Czech people, not necessarily the Czech Philharmonic. That's in a second. Kubelik. This has always been sort of my go-to set, even though I love the ones with the Czech Philharmonic, simply because Kubelik is the most hard-hitting, vivacious, driven. I mean, some people may find it too driven. Some people may not like the sound of the Bavarian Radio Symphony Orchestra in this music, although I think they play very well. And Kubelik, of course, was a native Czech, and he certainly understood the right coloration, and he certainly gets it from his orchestra. And the German radio engineers, have this sort of bright, tight, focused sound that's sort of laser sharp, like the performances. I think they're wonderful. I really do. And I love listening to them still. And the first dance, I mean, those furiants, my God, he just tears into them. But again, without pushing too hard, it's just exciting. I mean, just plain exciting. Now, let's turn to versions with the Czech Philharmonic. Charles Mackerras is the latest one, second latest one of the latest ones we have. The newest one with Bělohlavek, like most of his Dvořák with the Czech Philharmonic, is simply boring. And the orchestra seems completely uninterested. It's such a shame what's going on there. I think the Czech Philharmonic no longer sounds like the Czech Philharmonic of old, and I think the conductors that they have are not doing them justice. That's how I feel. And from what I've heard, now they're doing a Tchaikovsky cycle with like Semyon Bychkov. It's been awful. Ugh. Anyway, Mackerras, as usual, is Mackerras. I mean, there's all of that care, that effort, the thoughtfulness, the musicality, the musicianship, the desire to play the music like it's the great music that it is. So, and he's got, like I said, the Czech Philharmonic, and it sounds terrific. Nothing not to love. But now we're going to talk about some historical ones. There is Talić. This actually is a wonderful performance. I mean, Talić was a wonderful conductor. It's legendary. I think it's been superseded by some other ones, but it's as good as any of the ones with the Czech Philharmonic from that era and later decades. Here's the problem with Talić. This was remastered for the Talić Gold edition, and they botched it badly. This version, which was originally issued in the Czech Philharmonic edition, sounds quite good. The Talić Gold is completely muffled and cut off in the treble. It's unlistenable. So if you can get either the Japanese, like Denon Superfon one, which is may be the best sounding of all, or this super fun one, you can hear Talić. But avoid that Talić Gold series at all costs. The yellow Talić edition and the yellow sleeves. Not a good idea. Next, Neumann. Now, Neumann did them twice. This is his digital one. He did a mono one. They're both excellent. Again, this is a guy who knows the music, an orchestra that knows the music better than any human ever will, or corporately knows it better than any single human ever will. And the performance is bright and bold and full of pizzazz, and it's absolutely lovely. First rate in every respect, and we don't need to go into it in any more detail than that. However, if I have to have one reference recording for the Slavonic Dances, despite the excellence of Szell and Dorati and Dochnani and Mackerras and Neumann and Talić, the one you have to hear and you have to have is this one. This is Karel Šejna. It is absolutely superb. It's in stereo. It's not fabulous stereo, but it's good enough stereo. It sounds okay. And this is also available on a Denon Superfon Japanese pressing, which sounds great. This one sounds fine too. These performances, again, it's the version where everything just went right. You have Szell, who was a virtually unknown conductor in the West, but who was a marvelous, marvelous Dvořák conductor. And he did a lot of, sort of interesting orchestral music, just Vítězslav Novák and people like that. Terrific, spontaneous, totally fresh, completely enlivening, very clever treatment of the percussion, incredible woodwind playing, just full of the rhythm and life and heart and humanity that this music has to have. So, for your starter Slavonic dances, this is your assignment. Go find Carol Szell and listen to it, and you'll love it. Trust me, you'll just love it. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this talk, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and take care.